Delicious smells, soft smoke rising. A group of people gathering around an oven.
Over the past year, I've been focusing my research on the oven, and in particular the rocket stove, as a centerpiece for community and as a tool for placemaking. My work creates moments of convivial gathering and exchange, and defines places for communal activity and pleasure. It does so by animating non-defined space, creating a vision and opportunities for community without the need of excessive material resources. My approach of finding pleasure in scarcity creates a positive spirit for reconsidering material scarcity not as a limitation but as an opportunity for an abundance of communal pleasure. Community and togetherness, collective well-being and pleasure do not rely on abundant material resources, abundant waste production and abundant energy consumption. Especially in the current context of Corona, there is an acute scarcity of space for coming together. Moments of collective gathering are crucial for a collective spirit of action for change. Community is a first step towards negotiating differences, discussing positions and shaping possible futures together. It has the potential to produce alternative ways of life, turning intangible ideas into tangible experiences and examples that can inspire and become reality. My methodology is based on the assembly of context-specific available resources to produce centerpieces for communal gathering. To test if my tools work, I repeatedly confront them to a dedicated audience by working in situ and applying them in different contexts, such as dedicated community spaces, private gatherings or public space. Trying, learning and improving, acting and reacting are central to my way of working.
Let me introduce you to my tools for communal placemaking.
The tools for communal placemaking are objects based on the rocket stove principle, but are not to be mistaken as mere infrastructure. They are the seeds for community, the bare minimum of what you need to activate a place. By activating the surrounding space over time, they become a platform for things to take place. These tools are meant to be applied in unused spaces in limbo, space capable to change and to evolve, non-defined space with the capacity to become communal space. These tools are built from an assembly of disused objects that are widely available. Their construction and functionality are accessible and informed by principles of low-tech. You don't need any special equipment or skills to build and use them. Rather than positioning themselves as fixed and finished objects, they underline their capacity to be adapted, to change and to evolve. The tool becomes an adaptable base for a variety of future ways of application and use. They have an aesthetic of assembly. They may look irritating at first, you may struggle to understand how they work, but that is the whole point. The tools for communal placemaking leave it up to you to imagine what they could be used for, what they could become, or in which world they could exist in. They become totems and visual centerpieces for community. I don't want to be called a rocket stove builder. My role as a designer in the production of communal spaces is that of an initiator and animator. I'm working on site, connecting to local resources of community, materiality and space in order to assemble what is available. I address communal activity on site to create space for things to take place, based on the approach of finding pleasure in scarcity. My interventions on site deal with a number of unknowns. By the nature of this project, I have to leave parts of my interventions somehow unplanned. Therefore, there is a certain risk involved related to context-specific limitations like the duration of collaboration, the pace of communal activity, and the availability of material resources and infrastructure. The tool for communal space making is constructed on site. After mapping and defining a suitable space, it is constructed with materials from existing and local channels of resources, together with the local community to create a sense of understanding and ownership. As a next step, it gets placed in its dedicated space and activated in a first communal activity. Whereas their materiality and functionality already suggests a certain way of use, a formal agreement on the pace of communal activation helps to further appropriate the object and root the established space.
En tout cas, cette connaissance, pour l'instant, elle est en nous et ce serait bien qu'elle puisse être explicitée pour qu'elle soit plus pérenne et reproductible, quoi.
To maintain the integrity and the ethical core of my work, I therefore leave behind the terms of use for the produced tools that remain on site.
En fait, après la deuxième, on va plutôt la monter à l'atelier demain. Après, on peut la monter ce soir et puis la démonter. Et puis...
As my graduation project, I launch a series of interventions. By the end of August, I will present a documentation of a number of interventions in different contexts. This documentation will consist of a video and a digital archive containing text and video documentation, pictures, voices and sounds recorded in the process of placemaking. This work may become a service for communal spaces that either are newly established or lack engagement. My research and experience so far show me that despite good ideas, concepts and intentions, communal spaces need a communal spirit. The good cause alone is not enough. There needs to be an element of pleasure and communality to create a spirit of action that goes beyond doing the right thing. I consider this work an ongoing production of places. In order to approach such communities, until the end of August, I aim to formalize my research in a framework that helps me to understand how to work in different contexts. Therefore, I will stage different interventions in different contexts. The first one, happening right now at the end of June, takes place in a rural space consisting of a big field with space for different activities and a workshop and living area located in a small village in the east of France.
Mais je suis venu ici parce que je veux bien expérimenter, monter et réaliser mon idée d'un rocket stove, d'un poêle roquette qui devient un objet central pour animer un lieu.
During 2 weeks, the site is activated through the presence of a larger group of people. I use this space as an example for how to work with materials on site, with a local community and with an existing unused space. My goal here is to establish different places for gathering through the production of tools for communal placemaking. The second intervention will take place in August in collaboration with the collective Parnitzke in Amsterdam, which has the ambition to produce informal spaces in public. This will become an intervention in public space, a mobile platform for exchange and gathering. I'm documenting these interventions through daily logbook entries, video logs and visual summaries. Moreover, I compare the vision and the reality of the place by collecting subjective voices and opinions from people on site. I then show the moments that my interventions create and document the new communal places. Based on my methodology of action and reaction, my digital archive will serve as a knowledge base for future iterations that allows me to compare and recognize patterns, to learn, to reflect and to improve from. When working in different contexts, I will thereby always build up on previous work and experiences.